Hi guys, welcome back to Tom Wants Things. Today we are going to be sorting out the rear end of Max Power 106. Let's get to it. So as you're aware, some of you guys won't be, but obviously people that have been following the channel for a little while will know that this is the rear end of the Max Power 106. It's got a full custom rear light setup where the original lights used to be. Panels been welded in. These lights, which are off a motorbike, have been kind of put in their place. At the moment these are just sort of temporarily held in with the 3D print that I've designed. Needs to do a few little tweaks to it, but it's definitely getting there. So what we are looking today is at this rear bumper. Now, while it was in transit, as we can just see here, unfortunately it sustained a little bit of damage when it was being tied down. So what we're going to do is we're going to whip the rear bumper off. We're going to pry this area to kind of make it reasonably smooth, and then I've picked up a load of body filler and some more fiberglass, and we're going to re-glass the rear side of this and then smooth it back over. There is also a contemplation that I've got at the moment where I'm trying to work out whether or not we remove this whole mid section. So effectively it ends here, all of that gets removed, and then it goes down on the other side, and then we could just kind of remove all of this and it becomes this kind of like big opening at the back, which we can then fill with exhaust pipes. I mean, we can fill it with exhaust pipes as it is at the moment anyway, but that's just a conversation that, bloody hell, not with it today, a thought that I've been having with this rear end. So I don't know, we'll see what it looks like when we take it off, and then we'll attack it from there. Then there is also, as some of you will have seen on previous episodes, we have got this what we are sort of calling the Pikachu spoiler. Now, I've been doing a little bit of work on this in the background. As you can see, it's looking a hell of a lot better along this top edge, and then all around here just started to smooth in these areas, and then just fill it over with filler primer at the moment, just so I can see which areas require a lot more work. And obviously there's, as you can see, a lot of areas that do need some work. So we're going to be doing some more work on this today, because the idea is I'd like to get this finished today, so that I can then just whip it on the back of the car, and that is then all hunky-dory. And then it also clears up some space, which obviously we need in here, much like I can imagine you guys that work on cars at home are in the same situation. Sort of lucky that I've got a slightly bigger than normal garage, but even so, it's full up of rubbish and crap. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're just going to whip all the parts out to the front, and then we're going to just start to see what we are working with. So I'll catch you guys in a sec. Right, so as we've also found with other bits on this car, it's actually had quite a lot of work done to it. So what we are, oh great, it's just started to rain as well. Perfect, let's do this quick. So it's had the original bumper, sort of, it looks like it's been sort of chopped out, the inner sort of skin, and then it's been sort of like welded to the sort of the new outer skin of this rear bumper. Then also what I can see is that the place where the number plate is supposed to go, and you'll see that sort of on the other side, has also been totally smoothed off. So I don't know whether this is probably why it's so heavy, because it's been filled with like body filler or something, but it's kind of still got all the sort of original wiring in here and stuff, which is obviously pointless because there's nothing on the exterior to actually for it to go to. So yeah, not entirely sure what we're going to do here, and I don't know what this is for. It looks like some sort of bumper bracket, but yeah, so as we're finding with a few of these bits, what I think I'm starting to feel like has been happening with this is it kind of got taken off the road, then all the bodywork got done where everything was smoothed over, welded, then it went into paint, and then it was just going to get to the process of being rebuilt, and then all the wiring started to be redone, and then all the bits where for example, like the wiring harnesses and stuff for the rear lights hadn't been sorted yet, and then there's also quite a few bits all the way around it which are in a similar sort of situation. I'm guessing they kind of just gave up at that point and then just left it, so that's why there's kind of wiring that doesn't really go anywhere. Some wiring that does go looks like it should go to a place, but there's no access for it anymore, like we showed on the doors on the previous video, where the cabling's all still in there for all the electric windows. Looks like it's been done previously, but then the hole at which the sort of cable comes out has then been welded over, so it kind of then goes, okay, well, how did that work? And obviously it doesn't work because they never got it finished. So it's kind of, yeah, leading me towards thinking that that's kind of what's happened. As we just saw with the rear bumper, looks to be the same situation with that. So we're going to crack on with cleaning up the rear side of it first, and then we're going to flip it over, pry the piece that's cracked, which is the bit that's been moulded over the number plate, and we'll drill 2 holes at the end of the crack just to alleviate any stress fractures, and then we'll rework it over with some body filler. So we'll crack on with that now. Right, a quick update on the bumper. As you can see, this is where the split happened all the way across, and what this is effectively, this used to have a section that was around here for a number plate, and it looks like they've blended across the top. You can just about make out sort of here where there's a high spot as it comes all the way around the outside, because it's not been totally smoothed in properly, and I don't know, the camera might not catch it up, pick it up, but effectively, yeah, this bottom section's come away. So what we're doing is we're just opening up the gap at the moment so that we can get enough space in there to kind of fill it, and then drilled some holes either end to stop the crack from spreading any further. Then we're just going to fill over the top, smooth off over there, probably build up and smooth off the areas just around the outside as well, just to make it a little bit better. And then we've also got a split here in the fiberglass, so again, drilled it at the end of the crack, and then we're going to build this up on the back side just to give it a little bit of reinforcement. And then there's a few areas here where air pockets have kind of popped in the fiberglass, so this is all, that's just sort of filler really job with that. And then there's sort of a few bits around here, a few bits here, another crack there actually, which I think, yeah, so we'll drill that as well just to be on the safe side. And then there is a little area, so this is what this is supposed to look like. And then if we look over the other side on this one, you can see it's kind of all broken off, so we need to fill and rebuild this area too to get it all looking good. But yeah, not too bad, not too bad, all standard stuff. We had the same stuff with the front bumper as well. Again, it's got this kind of light blue finish to it, whether that, I don't know, that might be the resin that was used on the old fiberglass that was kind of a light blue colour. Apologies for the noise. Yeah, the light blue colour, so I don't know, it could have been an old colour to the car, probably not, probably the resin that they used for the fiberglass moulds. But anyway, so we'll crack on with that. We'll get back when it's a little bit tidier. Right, as we did last week, done some repair works on this, so we just re-glassed over the back, re-glassed over this side, we've done some resin based stuff over here as well, and then just reapplied on all of the sort of crucial areas, same around here with the cracks. And then just added a piece in here because we're going to need this to build up this section with some body filler. So just going to wait for this to cook, and then we can flip the bumper back over, trim all the edges, and then get on with all the filling and priming. In the meantime, we'll carry on with smoothing out this rear wing and starting to fill in some of the gaps and reshaping some of this area. I think as you can see, if you watch previous videos, it's looking much better. Still a lot more work to do, but it's definitely coming along. And then we can start to prime the whole thing, and then see all the high and low spots, and then start to get it all looking great. Awesome. Right, so we're back inside, done a first pass on this area over the top here, just added in the filler over the top, and then we've also reworked some of these edges down here, just filling in, and then started to build up this area, which you saw a minute ago was totally chipped off and taken out. Then what we're going to do is wait for this to set. Unfortunately, it started raining outside, as you can see, so just kind of moved everything inboard for the moment, because we've done a lot of work on this spoiler just a second ago as well. You can see here this is really starting to take shape now, which is great. So these two bits, if you saw on like a previous video, which I'll try and put up here, but that was when we had test fitted this, which is what we're calling the Pikachu spoiler, and it's a Furious 2 Corsa B wing with a Porsche 911 GT2 top blade molded into it. So yeah, so we blended these two pieces together, and then we've now started working on this side as well. As you can see, previously this was kind of just fiberglassed in on the edges, and then we've got the underside to work on afterwards. But unfortunately, as it started raining, can't really do it in the rain. It's not too great, so well, hopefully it will, I don't know, see the sky, it's looking a bit grey. It's definitely winter at the moment, so we're just going to wait for the body filler on the rear bumper to set, and then after we've done that, then we can start to skim over the top. A question I've put out actually to the group at the moment, and you'll see it on my Instagram, because as and when I'm doing sort of bits on this car before I managed to edit the video and put it on YouTube. I do put it up on my Instagram channel, so do check that out and subscribe if you haven't already. But effectively what we are looking at is, not actually sure what this rear bumper is, but it comes with this sort of rear diffuser section through the middle, and I had this thought as to whether or not it would actually look pretty cool if we lopped it off here, cut these top bits off, and then cut it down the back here as well, and then effectively just removed this whole center section so it kind of swoops out and then all the way across and then swoops back in again. And then as I say, regardless of what we're going to do with this bumper, we're going to have some really stupid exhaust pipe out the back, or multiple exhaust pipes more than likely. So yeah, just an idea really. Check out my Instagram channel for that, to put the vote in, or put it in the comments on this YouTube video, and then what I'll do is I'll tally all the stuff up, and then we'll make a sort of a split decision as to whether we chop it out and what we're going to do separately. So anyway, I'm going to crack on and I'll catch you guys when it's finished. Right, so here we go guys, this is where we're up to on the bumper at the moment, as you can see. Again, sorry, on a road. Right, so as you can see, we've smoothed off this section all the way across, and now I'm just reworking it, but as you can see there's absolutely no sign of a crack anymore, and as soon as we blast it over with a bit of primer, it's going to be totally unnoticeable. We've also reworked all these edges as well, so they're looking a hell of a lot better. No holes and stuff. Got a crack here that we're just going to redo now, but yeah, all the way along looking really, really good. So yeah, shouldn't be too much longer. Just going to start reworking it, obviously all the way over the top, and then we'll catch up once it's finished. There we go, so all nice and smooth. Going to start applying some primer. Well, the first layer's on, just drying, but it's definitely picked up a few different areas where we can improve, and that we'll need to just smooth off ever so slightly, just with a higher course of or higher grade of sandpaper. But yeah, this area is looking pretty good. As I say, with the higher grade, we'll be able to take out all of these sort of slight imperfections with the coarser sandpaper that we used earlier, but we needed to do that so that we had something for this primer to bite to, because obviously the previous person had lacquered the paint and caused all sorts of stuff, much like we did with the all of these parts as well, and these have all come out, they're now covered in dust, but really, really well. So we are doing the exact same process with this, slightly long-winded, but we will get there in the end. So now we're just going to wait for this to dry, and then we can sand back over it again. Right, while we're waiting for that to dry, I'll update you on some of the other bits that we did. As you'll see from previous episode when we showed you the lights, we've now got the second light in, second fender on, just to start to line everything up. Been working on the actuators, and let me just turn this heater off so that we can hear. So then what we've been doing with the actuators for the doors, because the Lambo doors, as we saw previously, had these which don't work and are totally dead. Couldn't find out what they were, so we've basically been working through various different types. We've got one that we believe will work, but we just need to find one that's slightly stronger, because wasn't quite up to the task of holding the door up, because what we want for jeez, right, okay, try it again, because we wanted it so that the doors open and then they kind of almost self-lift up. Once you've given it a little bit of force, then it will lift itself up. These ones will hold it when it's in its up position, but kind of we want to just give it a little bit, make it a little bit easier to be able to lift them up, because they are quite heavy. Because now you'll see that also we have the windows in place. So we're working through what was going on the inside, and also door handles are now on both sides as well. So what I can show you is, along what I was saying earlier on in the video, what I believe was happening was they were, or they had the car previously with, I don't know, some stuff done to it maybe, and then they'd taken it off the road, started to rebuild it with all of the new bits, stripped everything out and then started to put in new parts, and then gave up. So This would have originally, I believe, been a manual window regulator, and what they've done is, I believe, put in their own electric window regulator. So this now works with being fit in the window by using sort of manual adjustment by putting just sort of mold grips onto this and then just twisting it, which raise and lower the window just to make sure it works. But we've also got in door latch mechanism on the back now and everything. Found a couple of the cables for the I believe this is for the central locking, all of which is still in there, but not entirely sure whether it's working or not. So we're going to work out either using that, or depending on how easy it is, we'll find another way of doing it, because we're going to need door poppers or something anyway, because there are no door handles on the outside. So yeah, all of the cables and stuff are all here for all of that anyway, so if we really needed to, we could use it. There's only sort of 6 cables coming out of this, and 2 of those are for the window regulator. So anyway, I'm sure we can find a suitable way for that to work properly. Still working through all the wiring at the moment. We're stripping out more of this Clifford alarm system, but I'm taking my time with it because, as I say on the earlier episode, I got to the point where I was taking certain bits off, went to turn the car back on, and then it wasn't working anymore, or at least the instrument cluster wasn't turning on. So clearly there's some splicing that I need to work through on that. Then yeah, other side all done as well. Sunroof obviously in, need to properly screw all this down, but we need to, this channel here is blocked at the moment, so we need to unblock this channel beforehand, because these notoriously rust right in this corner here and also this corner here. Saw a previous episode, we've still got these Momo wheels. These are just sitting up here now. At the moment the wheel situation's looking like the TSW Venoms are the current winner. It's still going to go on for sort of 1, maybe 2 weeks, so there'll be a poll at the end of this video to show you kind of what the standings are at the moment, because I'm going to tally them all up across YouTube, my Instagram, and also Facebook, to get a sort of a total overview of what everyone's voted for. And then the hunt is currently out for those and the other ones as well, so if any of you come up with or find any 17-inch 4x108s, then that would be really appreciated, because I'll buy them anyway, just to as I said, because they're getting a little bit hard to come by. So we've got to get onto that. And then some pretty epic stuff has also been happening in the background. So just randomly had a sort of Zoran for sending out these bits, but effectively sent through some bits that he found in his garage when he was clearing them out, and donated them to the Max Power build. So hopefully we can use these. We'll see what happens, but yeah, official sort of Max Power merchandise, number plate bolts and number plate lights. He bought them for his first car, which was also a 106, but never got around to fitting them. So we're going to see if we can get these on this car eventually when we get to that point where we're looking at where number plate fitments are. But yeah, top man for this, absolute legend. So these will go in our Max Power drawer at the moment, where we're full of various other miscellaneous Max Power goodies that are kind of all just sitting in here waiting for the right moment to get them on the car, catch can and stuff as well. So anyway, top man. Right, so here we go guys, let's show you this kind of a little bit further in the future. As you can see, wearing different attire now, been out and about getting stuff sorted and then have to come back to it. But where are we up to? So rear wing is now mounted back on the car at the moment. What we wanted to do is just see where some of these lines are. As you can see, I'm going to need to just shift this around a little bit just to get this edge to line up properly, but there's going to be a little bit, as we knew, rework on this edge just to get it to sit, because it needs to come on and off and on and off. But what we wanted to do was to get these edges looking as good as possible. So this is just a sort of a mist coat over the top, so that when we go back and sand it again, we can see where the high and low spots are. But as you can see here, this area is looking so much better than it did when we first started. So we've blended the 2 areas in with each other with a load of filler. Then we've started to smooth out this transition from this sort of straight edge into this blade across the top. And then we've also done a similar thing, as you can see under there, with the rear of the spoiler, where obviously before this was all loads of like fiberglass bits poking out everywhere, and then similar thing on the other side. By no means finished, but this is going to be a work in progress for this, because this sort of stuff takes forever, as you can see. So we've literally spent majority of the day getting this stuff sorted. But what is really cool, and let me just move a few things out of the way to show you, because obviously we're limited on space. But there we go. So rear bumper is all sorted now, which is great. This is showing sort of the rear lights that are for the car, which are off of a motorcycle. But what this does do is show us kind of what we've done with the repair work that we did around here. If you can remember, we had this massive split all the way across. So we have smoothed everything off, and we've taken all the paint back, done loads of filling in various areas, and then we've got a little bit of adjustment to do in this area because I don't think the bracket behind is sitting quite right, because it's kind of dropped down. So we will take this back off and slide it back in, but looking pretty damn good, to be honest. As you can see, obviously this is like crazy low to the floor. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous how low it is to the ground. Like, I mean, you can just about get an old finger gap in there. Obviously tyres are a little bit flat, so it should raise it up, but even so we're talking like finger gap underneath, which I think is perfectly suitable for this car. I wouldn't have it any other way, frankly. And then yeah, and then it's pretty much looking sort of, well, it's starting to come together. As I showed earlier, we've got windows back in, obviously rear windows just been measured up and put back in place. Need to actually get it fixed in, but that is something that we can definitely do next time. And then that'll all be sorted. We'll get a rear bung for this. Maybe you might actually, I think I'll 3D print one for this, and do some little design on it, because that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, looking pretty sick, to be honest. I think this rear wing was definitely a sort of the choice for this car. I mean, I don't think there was anything else we could have done, to be honest, because go big or go home. So, and then I did open up the floor about whether we remove this middle section, so that is still up for debate. At the moment on my Instagram, keeping it is basically the one that everyone is voting for at the moment, but in essence, if we chop up here, chop there, then chop there, then this whole middle section comes out, and then it's just left with this sort of big opening, and then, I don't know, we could maybe build a diffuser in or something, but whatever happens, this area, maybe even this area, is going to be filled up with some really obnoxious exhaust pipes at some point. So either way, there's going to be some big chromy noisemakers under there. So yeah, I think really we're at the end of the video really for today. So done a lot today, to be honest, but all that stuff sort of takes a lot of time. So yeah, it's just sort of taking you along really for that. But anyway, stay in touch. Obviously subscribe if you like content, either through YouTube or Instagram or both. I also posted stuff up on the Facebook Max Power pages as well. We will be, what are we going to be doing next? We're still looking for a windscreen, so that is kind of main priority at the moment, because as soon as we get a windscreen, then all of this car will be sealed from the outside, which will be great, because at the moment obviously all the dust gets inside. So anyway, so I'll have to clear that up now, and don't really want to put a sheet across it. So anyway, windscreen is the main thing next. Now we can start to get the interior back in properly and all fixed up, now that we know the window regulators work. Still undecided as to whether we go electric windows or we go with some sort of nice machined manual ones, but we'll sort of come around to that. Headlights are now in, wired up. Still need to do a little bit of work on this front bumper just to add this additional piece in so that it blends in properly. The wheels still up for vote, so get your votes in on that, either on this video, on my Instagram, and have your say really on what those out of the choices are going to be. I'll put the polls just after this to show you kind of where we sit standings wise with the point system. But anyway, that'll be it for now, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care and goodbye.